Most people who call themselves lazy have been carrying that word for years. A parent said it, a teacher wrote it, and somewhere along the way, you picked it up and wore it like it was yours. But here is what that label never explained: why a person who cannot get off the couch can still stay up until 3 in the morning, doing something they actually care about. Laziness does not explain that. Something else does. Your brain is not broken. It is protecting you from something it decided was dangerous, and it made that decision long before you were old enough to argue with it. Here is how it actually works. Your brain runs on a simple rule: spend energy on things that feel safe and rewarding. Avoid things that feel threatening. And the part of your brain making that call is not the rational thinking part. It is the part wired for survival, the part that cannot tell the difference between a lion and a deadline. Think about the task you keep avoiding, not the one you forgot, the one you think about every day and still do not start. Most people assume that avoidance means they do not care enough, but the brain avoids things it has quietly tagged as dangerous. Maybe the last time you tried something like this, you failed publicly. Maybe someone you respected made you feel small for attempting it. Your brain stored that moment, and now, every time you approach that task, it sends a low current of dread through your body, just enough to make the couch feel like the rational choice. That is not laziness. That is a protection response running on old information. Here is the second thing happening underneath. Your brain's reward system runs on anticipation, not completion, which means if your brain does not believe the effort will pay off, it will not release the chemical that makes starting feel possible. You sit down to work and feel nothing, not resistance, nothing. That absence is not a character flaw. It is your brain withholding fuel from a destination it does not trust yet. This is why forcing yourself harder rarely works. You're pushing against a system that does not respond to pressure. It responds to evidence. Small proof changes everything. Not motivation, not discipline. Proof. When you finish something tiny, genuinely tiny, your brain updates its prediction. The task became slightly safer, slightly more worth the energy. Do that enough times and the program starts rewriting itself. Not because you became a different person, because you gave your brain new data to work with. And here is what most people never realize: the version of you that you keep waiting to become, more focused, more consistent, more driven, that version is not hiding behind more willpower. It is hiding behind the moment you stopped confirming your brain's old story about what you are capable of. You were not born lazy. You were trained by experience to protect yourself from specific kinds of effort. And protection that made sense at 12 or 17 does not always make sense now. The program is old, the threat is gone, but the response is still running. The question is not whether you are capable. That was never the real question. The question is what your brain still believes about what happens when you try. If this reframed something for you, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. This channel is for people who want to understand what is actually happening in their own mind and use that understanding to move differently.